Friday, 21st of August, biggest day of your life so far, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's as a young musician, you dream dreams about releasing albums and recording them in par streets and having them on the shelves and having people listening to your music all over the world. And thankfully on the 21st of August, that dream's gonna come true for me. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's been an unbelievable experience making the album and writing, recording it, even marketing it, promoting it. It's been a boss ride, and I just can't wait now for it all to sort of pay off and be out there in the ears of all my fans.
You've worked with some boss musicians on it as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, the producers on their own are good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Chris Taylor and Rich Serby, absolute, diamonds in the music industry this day. In this day and age, people like them are hard to come by. And the fact that they're willing to work with me, it's unbelievable. The band I've got behind me for the album, it just is insane, really. To be honest, Jim Sharrock on the drums. I challenge anyone to find me a better drummer around his age in the city. He's absolutely insane. There's a reason why he's the full-time drummer for Lighting Seeds and Seeds Read the Gun at the same time. Likewise with the bass player, Tim. He plays bass, he plays sax, he plays piano, he plays anything he wants. He's just a absolute wizard on the bass. And Danny on the guitar, like he's been my mate since we were in school. I've always looked up to him on how good he was on the guitar, and to have him just putting out those lovely little lead touches on the melodies and my tunes, he's made my life a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's been a great, like I say, a great year or so doing all this, and long may it continue. And just feel really lucky to be able to be in the situation I'm in.
It's anticipated to be a top 20, but I think Scousers are going to go in the top 10, definitely. How's that going to feel?
To be in the top 20 is a dream. Do you know what I mean? To be in the top 10, I'm going to have a proper party there. Like, if that happens, it's got to be amazing. Scousers being Scousers. I mean, don't be wrong, the support across the board has been absolutely unreal, but Scousers being Scousers, I think always when the rally cry comes out, release week or release day, everyone always gets behind me, and I can't wait to see what happens. And if it's the top 20, like I say, I'll be over the moon anyway. But if it gets to the top 10, like that's going to do so many things for my career in the future. And I just feel, like I say, feel really lucky. I've got the fan base that I have to driving this behind me, and also lucky to have the team behind me and the management and the record label who've been absolutely unbelievable since I signed a deal. They've walked me through the music industry, basically holding my hand. They've sorted everything I've needed sorting out. They put this band together for me. They've put me in the room with the producers. They showed me the ropes, and for them as well and their reputation, I hope we get the highest chart place possible, because it's been an unbelievable team effort by everyone involved.
Definitely. Did you ever think to delay it because of the shit that's going on now?
No, it was never a question of that for me. People have been waiting long enough for this album. People have been waiting long enough for my solo stuff. I've been waiting long enough for my solo stuff to come out. There was no way. It's not about, the top 10 and the top 20 would be nice, do you know what I mean? But ultimately, that's not why when I signed a record deal, top 50 would have been a success, do you know what I mean? That's just a case of circumstance that we want to take advantage of. You do this so people can listen to your music, so you can have your music out there for everyone to hear, to connect with people, to bring people together. That's what, and to play the songs live, so that when you play them live, people know what they're coming to see, and people can get involved and sing along with you. That's the end game of all this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's, I just, like I say, I'm having the time of my life doing this at the minute, and there was never lockdown. It was hard enough for everyone, and I think in this time, I think people need new music. Do you know what I mean? And
definitely,
I'm open that my album will be the coming out of lockdown soundtrack that helped everyone, get back to normal and get on with things as usual, and get back to the daily grind. That's where I'm open. And if gigs are allowed back before the tour, we'll get out and we'll do a gig and we'll sing it. Do you know what I mean? But no, it was never going to be delayed. The release. It was just it had to be released.
You've been waiting on them
be
for so long and sitting on the tunes for ages and that, haven't you? So
exactly, mate. So yeah, like I say, it's just it's been a dream, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait to see what happens now when it does come out.
you've got a 13-day tour to follow in February and a huge hometown show to end it. You're chomping at the bit for February now, though.
Yeah, Feb and March, it's like, especially the band I've got behind me, when you go live with the playing in the studio and in a packing room with them is one thing, but when you go live with these people, these are experienced pros, you know what I mean? And like,
yeah,
they're right there with you, and I can't wait for everyone to feel the energy of the bands and the energy of myself and the songs that I'll be singing. And yeah, it's the biggest tour I've ever done in my life to date.
unbelievable.
The Guilds, I've been to see plenty of people there in the past. Bands like the Coral, just like Jerry Cinnamon.
Yeah,
I've been there. That's an unbelievable venue, and to think that I'll be on that crowd of people is fucking. It's a little bit frightening, but it's also like so exciting. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I just can't. I'm just putting it all on, and the fact that we'll have had 12 dates to play together prior to that Liverpool gig just means that, like, we're going to be tight as anything, and we're going to be on the ball, and like we're going to be ready, not ready for absolutely anything that night. And yeah, like, I can't. What a way to end a great tour. And I'm amazed without the ticket sales are going. Like, the Guild sold out within like a day of going on.
Yeah.
Dublin sold out. Belfast is up down to its last handful of tickets. Manchester's down to the last few. Glasgow's down to the last few. It's Bristol's down to the last 30. These are places I would never even dreamed of playing, and I can't wait to get there and experience all the different cities, all the different fans, and just get that experience of playing on the road and touring my album. It's a lifelong dream, as well as the album coming out. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a shame. Well, because I've had to wait so long for the album to come out, I don't think the wait till March will be that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, just when it does come around, it's gonna be amazing. And
You should do the Dam as well. Be like a Scouse takeover over there.
Sorry.
You should do the Dam. Be like a Scouse takeover.
Well, there's talk that there may be members of an Amsterdam show in the new year, and I think timing's key on that one.
Yeah.
And it's obviously for me, like, I've been to Amsterdam about 25 times just on holiday. Do you know what I mean? Like, I used to, when I was working, I used to just go to match. Never had a girlfriend or nothing like that. I used to just go to Liverpool games home and away, and then I used to save up. And when we went in Europe and stuff like that, I'd go to Dam every couple of months for the weekend with a couple of my mates. And like, honestly, I know I've got mates who live there. I know the place like the back of my hand. So to go and do Amsterdam, and take a massive Scouse army over with me, that'd be the stuff, like, that'd be stuff of legend, that, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be something, that's something to write about in your book, that's something to tell the grandkids, you know what I mean? That's something to tell your kids. It's that'd be amazing. These are things that I could never ever have dreamt of doing, I could have dreamt of them, but I could never have imagined them happening to me. So yeah, we'll see where we go with that one, and hopefully it can happen. I'm ready for it all, mate. UK, Europe, whatever.
The world.
Yeah, I'll take it on, mate. I'm just ready for it now. I've got the bit between me teeth. I'm excited. I'm loving what I'm doing. There'll be no hesitation from me should anything like that come forward, let me tell you that.
What's the reaction been like outside of the working class cities? Because I know it's heavily working class influence because of like where we're from and stuff, but what's it been like, say, in London and stuff like that?
London, the gig I done in London in February was superb. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Load
of locals down there. I was singing my songs about my thoughts, and they got behind it. I think London's a funny one because it's such a big place. When you think of London, you think of Soho, you think of Westminster, you think of like Downton Abbey. Do you know what I mean? Sort of, like, you think of all that shit. But then you think of places in, like, some places in East and West London are very working class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those people who are looking for something to sing about and something to fight for, and those are the sorts of people who are going to come down to the gigs and get behind it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? And some people might find that out by coming down to the gigs, but it's all right. At least you've had the open mind to give it a go, and that's all I'm asking. And the reaction's been great so far. Like the London gig sold out last time. The crowd was amazing.
Yeah.
But, the London gig this time, it's still selling strong. It's over halfway sold. I'm confident it's gonna sell out. Especially once the album comes out, I'm hoping people will be behind it. You look at people like you've only got to look at people like Jerry Cinnamon and Oasis to an extent. Look how working class Oasis were. And look where they went. Jerry Cinnamon, he couldn't be more Glasgow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
More working class Glasgow if he tried. And he's doing a lot, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So it's not that I'm saying I'm the next Jerry Cinnamon, because I'm not. I'm Jamie Webster, but there's no reason why I can't do those sorts of things myself. Do you know what I mean? And I'm confident in what I'm writing about, that it'll resonate with people all over the place. And so far it has. It's still a long way to go. I haven't done anything near what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? There's still a massive bridge to cross in terms of getting my own music out there to everyone. But it's something I'm looking forward to. It's a challenge I'm looking forward to.
Touching on Jerry, I remember hearing, I think it was on the Mason Pajak podcast ages ago, that he had a little moan about you. But how was it knowing that he'd even listened to your stuff in the first place, to have a moan?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice problem to have, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, he hasn't said anything to my face, so until he does, don't be too much of an issue for me. I'm just a bit baffled by the whole situation. I would love for him. I was a massive fan of Jerry, mate, and I still respect what he does. I'm not gonna make it an Oasis and Blair thing and be like, fuck this, fuck him, fuck that. You know what I mean? What he's done is absolutely brilliant, and you can't take anything away from him. The way he's dealt with a couple of situations, all right, it's questionable, but I'm not gonna really go there too much. Do you know what I mean? That's his issue, not mine. I'm doing my thing. And I'm not going to let anything that he says or does stop me doing my thing. Do you know what I mean? I'm here for me and my people.
Exactly.
And that's the way it's always going to be. And, hopefully the numbers of those people continue. And if we do cross paths along the way, don't be wrong, I will ask them those questions. Do you know what I mean? And say, what's this about? And hopefully we'll get in an ideal world, we get to the bottom of it. We'll have a bevy or a smoke or whatever. And it'll be dealt with there and then, you know what I mean? And there'll be no more, and that's that. But I'm honestly, it's the last thing in my mind anymore. Do you know what I mean? At the time, it was a bit baffling, but also quite a proud moment. The fact that someone who you really look up to is, took so much interest into your music that he's actually had to go at it. So like I say, that's his problem, and I'm just concentrating on me doing my album, getting it out there to the people on the 21st, and seeing what comes of it. If it brings a festival slot alongside Jerry, happy days.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
as well.
And, and we can have a good chat in the green room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But until then, I'm not gonna ask any questions of him or anyone else. I'm not even gonna. You won't hear me bringing it up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You can't win everybody over, and I've just got to concentrate on the people who like me and who want to hear what I've got to say and what to sing about, and that's what I'm going to do.
I remember having a Weekend in Paradise for a boss night. I think it was after United, and I was going to my mate, fuck me, he knows how to write a tune, him. And you fast forward to Madrid, and me and thousands of others were singing that tune back to you. How did that actually feel?
Yeah, it was unbelievable to see. Some of the people on the front rows were asking for the song. It wasn't even released. I seen 2 banners in the crowd saying Weekend in Paradise, and see it. Yeah. That moment in Madrid got me my record deal, because the fella, Dave Pitch, who was the head modern Sky, signed me to his record label. I met him on the plane going to Madrid, because he's also the CEO of Sound City, and he does festivals all over the world. So he'd actually helped Liverpool put that stage on and saved him a bit of money on it. And I got sat next to him on the plane, and I didn't know who he was, and we cracked on and we talked. And I had them laughing. We were both crying. We went through everything under the sun, all sorts of tunes, from rap to fucking Elton John. Do you know what I mean? We covered the whole spectrum, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even to fucking go and stretch into Pavarotti and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it was a boss. And then at the end of the flight, he said to me, "Oh well, I'm gonna come and see your set, because I might have something for you when you get home, depending on how it goes. So look forward to hearing your own stuff." And I said, "Why with you? What do you do?" And he said, "Well, I own a record label in Sound City." And I said, "Oh, fucking hell, that's handy, innit?" You know what I mean? And there he was, still behind me on the stage that day, and that was the only song I played of my own songs that day.
Yeah.
And he watched the reaction. He watched the reaction of the crowd. He watched me perform it. And straight after the gig, I didn't see him, but I had a text on my phone that said, "That was fucking brilliant. Let's make a record." So yeah, that was, you know, that moment that you brought up there. It was an unbelievable moment to be, you know, to experience firsthand. But the repercussions from that were far greater. And yeah, it was an unbelievable moment in my life. That's why that day, to date, is the best day in my life. But I think this now, whilst that was the best feeling and day in my life, I think this, the 21st, will be the biggest day in my life. There's a little difference. And yeah, I'm just so lucky to have experienced both of them in such a short space of time, really. And yeah, I've worked fucking hard, tooth and nail. I've had unbelievable support from my mum and dad throughout my life to always give me the little extras that they've worked so hard to get.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a great bird, you know, unbelievable girlfriend who's dead supportive. You know, when I'm away all the time playing, writing and stuff like that, you know, she's great. And like I said, I've got a great record label behind me, and I've worked with a great producer, got a great band. It's the hard work, I feel like, is paid off, because I feel like I'm in dreamland now with the resources I've got and the sort of campaign that I've built and profile that I've put together. It's one that, like I said so many times, even in this interview, I could never have dreamt it. Yeah. And like, if you'd have told me a year and a half ago, or even 2 years ago, when I was on building sites, that this is what I'd be doing now, I'd have told you where to go. Do you know what I mean? I'd never have had it. But here we are, and thank me lucky stars that this has all happened.
Just aside from the album, when are you going to link up with Alison? Because he's shook on it, would you say? And he'd do it when he won. He's won quite a bit since then.
I know. Well, I think the actual agreement, was that when we won the league, I think sometimes the way the cameras cut to it, it made it seem like we were talking about the league or the European Cup.
Yeah.
But when I said we haven't seen nothing like this in 30 years, that was
about
obviously the league.
Yeah.
The league. So, yeah, you know, I've spoke to him in the lead up this season, you know, as we've looked in good shape, and a couple of things I've done where he's been there, and he's always said the promise is a promise. I'm sure he'll stick to his word.
Yeah.
But the situation that we're obviously in at the minute, live gigs aren't even a thing. Do you know what I mean? So we can't go there. He's gone straight out of a season onto a holiday and straight into a pre-season. You know, he's got the Charity Shield next weekend, and then he's back into Premier League action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, you know, as much as we'd all like to see that happen, I think there's a few priorities that are just happening at the moment. And he will be true to his word. Listen, he signed for Liverpool for a long period of time. He's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be boss nights in the future. There'll be gigs in the future. You know, hopefully we're working on a couple of things behind the scenes with the lads at Boss Night that'll be unbelievable experiences for the fans that do involve a few high-profile people at Liverpool Football Club. I can't say too much about them. One of them will be the Alison gig, obviously. But something else that we're lining up is fucking, like, if it comes off, it'll be unbelievable. Like, it'll be brilliant. Like, it'll be one of the best things I've ever done in my life. And I'm, you know, it's got to go through a lot of people to get to the stage that we want it to get to. You know, what the club, I really can't say too much else about that. But, you know, we are working on these things in the background. It's just for anyone who is listening and is, you know, thinking, when's that going to happen? It's just going to be a waiting game, unfortunately, because of the situation. You know, I'd love to do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? I would love to go to a venue tomorrow with Alison Becker and play a load of tunes for a load of fans with the Premier League stood on the stage. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be, you know, yeah. Do you know, who wouldn't? What Red wouldn't love to see that happen as soon as possible? But, like, it's not that I don't want it to happen. It's just, it's going to take a bit of time. And like I say, Alison's got priorities at the minute in his football. I've got priorities at the minute in getting this album out there and hopefully getting the chart position and building towards that live gig, writing more songs for the new album. Because once the gigs come back, bear in mind, they're going to come back with a bang. And I'm going to be playing left, right and centre all over the place. And in the meantime, people are still going to want new music. And I've got to write that new music and record it. So this time that I'm shall we say, out of action. I'm not out of action. I'm sat in my practice room, my little, my studio space. I'm writing away. I'm thinking of the second album. I'm thinking of what's coming next. And then once the gigs come back, hopefully I'll have that album behind me. And, that's the next thing then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We crack on because, unfortunately in this game, if you stand still, you stop moving.
Yeah.
And, you need to keep moving in this game, especially at the position I'm in. I need to build on this unbelievable sort of progress I've had. And I just need to just keep my momentum going, keep my fans hungry for more. And I just can't wait for it all to come. And we're going to have some great days and some great nights, both in the Liverpool FC world and both in the We Get By, Jamiewebster solo world. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Obviously, you do have a lot to the club life, but how does it do your head and having to keep reiterating no footy tunes at your own gigs? Like, it's just common sense, isn't it?
Don't get me wrong. It is a struggle, but unfortunately, because of that massive Liverpool platform that I've built, I can't ever ignore that. And I understand that a lot of people do when they think of Jamiewebster. Not everyone thinks of Weekend in Paradise or We Get By. They think of LA, and that's amazing because I've had, it's put me where I am today.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I've had some great experiences with all those fans, and I wouldn't be where I am without those people who do see me like that. And that's why we released the Boss EP, and the Boss album around the time that the league was. I'm trying my very, very hardest to keep everybody happy. Do you know what I mean? I really am. And unfortunately, you can't please everyone. And I had a couple of gigs where I was supposed to be doing my own tunes, some small portions of crowds in one particular venue. Got a little bit nasty, and it wasn't a nice experience.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to leave anything like that open to happen again. To happen again. So, anything that is concerning my own tunes, until there's a point where, maybe my own tunes are bigger than what I've built at Liverpool, if that day ever comes.
Yeah.
I will always have to probably reiterate that there will be no football songs, because the last thing, more than anything else, the last thing I want is to leave someone in the room disappointed with the night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want, that's the last thing I want. I understand what it's like to be a fan. I understand what it's like to want to see someone do what you like them doing best. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, and listen, I'm not going anywhere with the Liverpool stuff. I'm really not. It's an unbelievable. Some of them gigs are better than any of the gigs I might ever play with. You look at Madrid. You know what I mean? Like, who'd want to turn stuff like that? Who'd not want to be a part of stuff like that? I'm a fucking massive red. I love Liverpool. Through to me bones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until my bones are little pieces of dust in a coffin, I will love Liverpool Football Club. To my heart's content.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to build something alongside that, and thank you to everybody who's appreciated that and supported it, and hopefully other people will be able to see that. And to the people who I may have disappointed in the past, I'm sorry about that. It's not my intention to do that. I hope that we can, anyone who is disappointed that, some of the gigs aren't Liverpool gigs, and I am focusing a lot on my own tunes at the moment. The LFC stuff will always be there, and I'll always be in the thick of that. So don't worry, and just thank you for your support in every way. Do you know what I mean? Whether it is the Liverpool stuff or my own music, it means a lot to me, and it enables me to do what I do. So thank you.
Yeah. One song I'm proper looking forward to on the album's The Joker. I heard this, I think it was at the Zanzibar or Arts Club, and it's Boss.
Club, it will have been, mate.
Yeah, and the lyrics and the chord progression's amazing. Do you want to tell people who haven't heard it what it's about?
Yeah, well, basically, I went to see the film The Joker with the birds, and I had this chord progression and the little pick and pattern and the vocal melody even as well, and I thought this needs to be something like quite a little bit deeper. I think everything I write about is real, and I think it's important, but this goes a little bit deeper, and it wasn't so on the face of things. Do you know what I mean? I thought This song can't be as on the face of things. It's sort of, the lyrics have got to match the melodies, and it needs to be quite clever what you're writing about. It needs to be, it needs to be what the song is now. And I was really struggling to find that perfect topic to write about. You know, I tried a few things. I tried like homelessness and stuff like that. You know, but look, it just didn't seem, nothing flowed. It didn't seem right. Didn't feel right, and I was quite frustrated a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I wanted this song to be the song that I knew that I could envision, and I went to pictures with my birds, and to literally take my head off it, to take my mind off it, you know, to just get away from it for a bit, go to pictures, watch a film, have some food, you know what I mean? Like, just come back to it in a couple of days, see what happens. And I went to see The Joker, and as the film's like, you know, building, the concept just is hitting me straight away, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is what, like, this concept needs to be. It is what I need. That this song needs to be about, and it's about someone being abandoned by society, abandoned by their friends, abandoned by the system, so many times after so many sort of obvious pleas and cries for help. You know, they're still left to turn into a villain, basically.
Yeah.
And it's only when we see them as a villain that we recognise them. You know, we didn't recognise what they were going through prior to that, when they were knocking on your door asking for help, when they were, you know, when they were going through the things that they were, you know, when they were putting on that brave face. Why were they always so loud? Why were they always laughing all the time? Why, you know, and maybe why wasn't people always laughing with him? Why was his comedy so like, why wasn't his comedy to our subject? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ask yourself all these questions when the worst has happened, and it's about sort of seeing that before it's happened, and you know, reaching out and or just giving it the thought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe giving the hand before you'd have the opportunity. It's about mental health, and it's about a lot of things that surround it. And I think the fact that the Joker and it gives you that, you know, that film, it gave me the vision for the lyrics. And I think hopefully when people listen to the song, and, you know, he will see that, you know what I mean? He'll see those images in the head that I see, and he'll feel those feelings, and maybe they'll look twice at a few people around him who might need it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And yeah, to be honest, mate, The Joker is my favourite song on the album. Like, you can probably tell by the way I'm talking about it, how much it means to me, and how much thought actually went into it.
Yeah.
And, you know, even with the band, that was the one that took the most time to get right. Do you know?
I mean, I've only heard it once, and it's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the wait till you hear it on the record, mate. It sounds, the studio version sounds unreal. The band's unbelievable on it.
Yeah.
The production is spot on, but to get that right, it was, even like after I'd written it, it had to be, you know, the bass line is, the bass player, he demoed it with me, so he's a sort of producer as well. So he'd already had the bass line, and we'd sort of had our, how we wanted the finished article to sound, but neither of us were a drummer, so we just done a little bit on a sort of snare with a couple of brushes. And like, if you listen to my drumming on the demo, it's absolutely shambolic, you know what I mean? But it was just to give the drummer that instinct of how we wanted it to sound. And Jim's a great drummer, and, you know, he's so patient, and like, he was where you know, first of all, I said, no, it should all be on the snare, and then it was like, no, maybe on the ride, no, it's got to be on the hi-hat. Yeah. I know it's not got to be quicker, it's got to be slower, and in the end, I got it how I wanted it, you know what I mean? And you know, we actually recorded it after that live show. It's like, you know, a couple of weeks later, so it's I can't wait, you know, I can't wait to see the reaction to that, because that's the song. If you were to say what's the song you're most proud of on the album, it'd be a toss up between that and We Get By.
Yeah.
And yeah, the lads' parts and that are just unreal. And yeah, I amazed what you said. That makes me happy when people sort of talk about the unreleased songs, and, you know, say that they're looking forward to them, because it's definitely I can't wait to see the reaction to that one, and hopefully when I announce it in the gigs, you know, I'm hoping that one gets a nice little reception when they know that it's about to come on and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, thanks very much for the note, you know, the taking notice to that, because it's yeah, there's actually a video on YouTube of me playing that song that night in Arts Club, and it's quite a good quality video. So if you wanted to hear it again before the album,
definitely
it's there.
Be on after this.
Yeah.
Talking about this place, was it the Iceland? Like, I love that tune because it symbolises how much Liverpool means to Scousers. But how was it like getting it played alongside the biggest night in most Scousers' lives on Sky when we lifted the
Yeah,
league?
it was crazy, lads. Like I did really, it was done with the Premier League, and he told me that it was going to go out on like foreign channels,
Yeah,
not local. So I just thought it was going to go out. Yeah, the promo would be good, and then I actually raced from the Malmaison Hotel because I was doing something for the match for Standard Chartered, like a live commentary sort of thing. I raced to the halfway house to meet my mates to watch the trophy lift. And as soon I hadn't looked at my phone, and the fella had texted me at like 8:30 to say that Sky had took it for after the game from the Premier League. The fella from the Premier League had texted me, but I hadn't seen this message. And as soon as I walked into the pub, Kelly Dalglish announced me on the telly, and it was I was shocked. You know what I mean? And first thing I said, like I didn't know how to deal with it. I just went. Everyone looked at me, and I just went, "Who's that knobhead?" You know, on the telly, and everyone sort of broke the ice. And when I found my mates, it was boss spoke to me dad, spoke to me mum and my dad. My mum and my dad were in like tears. You know what I mean? Like over the moon with it. Like my girlfriend was as well, and all. My phone, I'm still catching up with messages from that night. Mate, my phone went off the hook. The single skyrocketed on Spotify, skyrocketed in the charts. The album sale went mad, and it was it was just boss. It was just a great experience again. And yeah, a real sort of significant one in this build up to the album being released. I suppose, and just again. It's one for the grandkids, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You're part of history now, aren't you? With it, like it's mad. Like just a normal, like what Trent said, just a normal lad from Liverpool living your dream.
Yeah, exactly. The only way I could go better is with the Liverpool side of things is to be playing on the pitch, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only way you can get better is to be in Jürgen's starting 11. You know what I mean? But like, I've done some mad things with all the Liverpool stuff, mate. I've had a pint with Klopp in New York at 2 a.m. You know, just me, him and Pep Linders talking about like the fans and Madrid and everything. You know what I mean? I've had some unbelievable nights, and I've been in some unbelievable situations. And like I've said it before, but I feel really, really lucky to have done what I've done. And the fact that I'm now, it's helped me move on into my own stuff. It's been a great transition, but there's still a bridge to cross. You know, there's still something to work towards in terms of, you know, getting that reach out there to more people, crossing over into the music world more. And, you know, I can't wait. And there's also another chapter to write with Liverpool as well. You know, Jurgen Klopp's still the manager. We've still got an unbelievable team. We're still going to be competing for trophies in years to come. So let's see what it all brings, eh?